Alright, gonna get started tearing down into this thing. It is a 1994. I thought it was a 93, but the VIN number shows it's 94. So overall, I kind of cleaned it up since the intro video, and it is really nice for what I didn't think it was gonna be this nice, but cleaned it up. Snorkel tube looks almost brand new. Back in there is all nice and clean. The transfer case is nice and clean. I mean, really everything other than the plastics, it's not. I mean, the plastics aren't that great, so I'll probably get some new ones or something. The seat, brand new almost. I know that this side right here was hit pretty hard because everything is pushed back, like the rack mount and the two bumper mounts down here aren't even connected. Maybe see it right in there. So I did get a new bumper and rack. Plastic is cracked right there, but and that's just some easy stuff, and I already got that new one. So I got tie rods, wheel bearings, a new steering, bushing, grips, starter solenoid, a battery, a new ignition, a rear brake bearing, and I'm going to go into that diff. I don't know. I think the diff should be alright, but I'm going to still tear it apart. I know it's pretty nasty in there though, but it's all pretty easy fixes, so going to start getting into it. First I'm going to go ahead and pull off this rear end, start there, because I know that that's one of the main things, and one of the things I always do to them anyways. So, but in the other video too, this gas tank worked about an hour and a half on this because they had this big sticker over it, and so I started peeling that away. Took about an hour and a half to get that old sticker because I guess the sun just baked it on there. So about an hour and a half, and I still got this factory sticker to hold and pull through. And it's like that on both sides. So I'm very happy with that. The gas tank even looks brand new on the inside. The valve here works perfectly. So here's the new steering bushing. Still got all the side pieces right there. I got inline blade fuses to take care of the glass ones. This air filter was one in there. Cleaned it up, put it all back in there, but I still probably go with a uni filter. But that one is a good one for now. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Got the oil draining out of it. I've got a new oil filter coming. Pretty sure I'm going to paint up the racks, paint up the heat shield there. Of course, dielectric grease all the plugs on it. Probably do a small snorkel maybe. I mean, the front plastic's already busted, so drilling a hole in there is not going to be a big deal. So everything is all original. All the wiring looks really nice and clean. So everything here, I mean, all the bolts are here. For what I would say it's not. It doesn't really have that many miles on there. I would say somebody really kept up with it, did good, and then the next guy had it, and he kept it outside. So, but it's really not all that faded. I can reuse the fender flares. So I'm very pleased with it. Everything is all original, all there. The motor hasn't been into. Top end's all original from what I can tell. So it's gonna start getting on it. Alright, so just jacked it up, and I can already tell that the rear end is obviously gonna need some attention. Back here on the brake side, I don't know if you can tell right there, it's pretty wobbly. So I know that everything in that brake system has got to come out. All the pedals, the hand levers, I just always do away with the rear anyways. I'm gonna gut it, leave everything out of it, probably but that backing plate, and then I'm gonna take this off, and then we'll get into the diff afterwards. But yeah, I think that's what was making my noise first of all whenever I test drove it. Well, this isn't bad, because as I was going to loosen up these big nuts here, I just noticed that they were loose, and that's it. So I tightened them up, just snugged up, and that actually fixed the loose issue back here. So really there might not be anything wrong with it, but still is going to come apart. Everything's going to get greased up and siliconed up. And you know how the 300s leak? It looks like all he did was like put silicone around all these things and gooped it up like right here, and it's kind of hard to see, but just gooped them all up here trying to prevent the thing from leaking. But that's just not how you do it. So yeah, that's also nice, even though I got a new bearing and stuff for this. But yeah, I mean, everything's nice and tight now. So I really don't know why the rear brakes didn't work on it. Maybe some of that something to do with it, and the fact that there's no brakes in it. So much dust and bearings fell out, and just all. I don't know if that's dried mud. I mean, apparently it is, but and then inside the axle tube here, no bearings in there. That bearing that was for the brake side here must have, well, it did. I don't know how that tightened up and actually rode. Looks like I'll have to be cutting that, cutting the inner race out, cutting this thing, the drum off. Just plan on doing anyways. You just basically hit it hard with a hammer, bust it off, and then I usually grind it out and get the center portion of this out. And that's usually where the axle paddles go. But the splines on this they're pretty great. I mean, it's dirty obviously, but clean it up, grind it all down, or wire wheel it all down, and we're good. So now I need to get to the bolts on this, knock this side out, and then we'll take the diff off. And after I get the brake lines off, still very pleased with it though, believe it or not. Alright, got it all taken apart, and well, I'm glad I got it for the price I did, because all this needs to be replaced. Yep, the ring gear, or the pinion right there, is ground down. The bearing right there, case, is pretty well cracked. The case on this side got a hairline crack all right there, so if it ever got in a bind, that would probably just snap. The only thing I have to get is that. But so basically I'm gonna have to reuse this side, and so new gears, new bearings, and this whole new side case is, I think, like right at 300. So it kind of bumps up my profit a little bit, but oh well. Not exactly what I wanted to see, but I guess that's pretty well par for a 300. So I don't know, I might go with another rear end, might just go back stock, we'll see. But still, I guess I gotta say I'm pretty happy with it. Well, make things better, I had to go start the motor, get it running. I had a blown fuse on it right there. Hooked up a Razor battery. All the lights work, tail light works, runs good, no smoke. Motor sounds real good. I don't know if the headlights work or anything. I guess not. But I can deal with that. I got some LEDs. It's gonna definitely need a car cleaning. Alright, so still been working on it. I've got the whole front end off, kind of going over everything. Of course, the front bumper, like I said, was just completely mangled right there and everything, so got to get a new one of those, which I said before that I got. Took the front brakes off going down there, over there. I'm going to use those later on whenever I get disc brakes or something, or I might not just run them at all. Got new tie rods because these are just, I got no tires on it right now, but those are gone. The whole wheel bearing is out on this. So I got the new key switch that goes into there. For some reason this bracket that holds this box on was bent that back out. What else? A bunch of these bolts were missing. that one and everything, but I got spares and other ones in my parts bin, so grabbed at those. Put all the bolts back, like that's gonna hold on the brake lines and stuff, so when I do get some, I'll just be able to snap it on. But it's going good. Everything still looks good. All the boots are in good shape. I'm still gonna pull the axles out and clean them up and mess with the front diff a little bit. So probably will add a small spring spacer to this, because when you pick it up, I got a little bit of play before it gets seated, so I'll probably add a small spring spacer. So like I said, overall everything still is looking really nice. Probably gonna take off the stick stoppers there. They just hold mud and crap, so really no point on them for what I do anyways.